to say a few words about yourself in 2 or 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much. My name is John Kofi Seto Dumelo. I was born in Accra, raised in Tema. I went to Christ the King International School, went to Achimota. I've always had a passion for agriculture and film. I did my first film in 1991. I got into farming in 2006, 2007. That's about the same time I also got into agriculture. I've always had a passion for agric. I've always followed my passion. I found myself in politics from 2012 onwards. 2016, I campaigned around the whole country for President Mahama and the NDC. 2020, I contested for the Ayawaso West Wagon seat. I nearly won. I didn't win. 2024, I tried again, but this time around, I was successful. And so my life has been a little bit of up and down, but all in all, I'm grateful for today. And then also, I'm also grateful for the parents that I have who are not here with me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will invite the Honorable Minority Leader for his initial remarks. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, on page 2 of your CV, you have written your educational background, and you're saying that you did GIMPA BA in Public Administration, 2016 to 2022. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, I think that was a mistake. It was 2016 to 2020.
So you will take the leave of chair to amend it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I haven't given you the leave yet.
Sorry.
Honorable nominee. And I'll grant you the leave. Leader, I think they said the audio.
So, Honorable nominee, back to the question. Page 2 of your CV, you have the BA in Public Administration. 2016 is to 2022. Is there anything you would want to do on the dates?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think I would like to correct it. It was 2016 to the year 2020.
All right. What about the same GIMPA, Masters in Governance and Leadership? Are the details there correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you have the certificates for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And your transcripts?
Yes, please.
Please, what about the 2023 to 2024 Masters in Natural Resources Law, University of Ghana School of Law?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You have the certificate?
Yes, please.
When did you graduate?
2024.
When in 2024?
I don't remember the exact month, but I think it was around May or April or May.
Before I go on, I acknowledge a senior colleague, the Honorable Minister responsible for agriculture, food and agric, correct? Yesterday, his bosom friend and brother was here, and I didn't see him. I didn't see him. I didn't see him, but he was here. You also say that you did your WASI 2000 to 2002. Is it 2 years, or explain?
So there's a mistake there. It's actually SSC. So it was from 2000 to 2002. That's 3 years. So 2000, yes.
So it means that January to December,
Yes,
January to
yes,
December.
Please. Yes, please. So it was SSC, not WASI.
So can you take the leave of chairman?
Please, leave is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, said your origin is Oti, and the hometown is Likpe Bala, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
That's where daddy comes from,
Yes,
or both?
That's where my father comes from.
Okay. And quite interesting. You speak English, of course, that's no doubt. You speak Fanti, that I attest to it because you speak Fanti with me. You do tree. Is your gun 50-50 or 100%?
My gun is 70-30.
Which of them? The Osu one or La or Gamashi gun?
The
or the
Okunglo
Kanishi?
one. The Okunglo one.
The Ponglo gun?
Yes, please.
Okay. Then your Ewe?
Oh, my Ewe there, respectfully, I think I'm better than you small.
Oh, Nyatepea?
Merkui.
Oh. So, you mean you are better than me? Small?
If my answer wouldn't mean you would worry me, then I have to be.
Well, it's unfortunate. Mine was 100%. But when they took me back to Winneba, the Futu, which is the Guan language, took away the Anlo. And by the time I got to St. Augustine's, that was the first time I met the language again. And it couldn't come again, unfortunately. Because I lived in Chame and started my school in Chame. I lived with my grandma. Yes, and I could speak Manlo fluent. But I'm trying. I'm trying to build my capacity on that. So help me.
Mr. Chairman, maybe we can take classes together.
Very well. So, and then your French is also 100% or
That's
on
about
pay?
on pay, 20%. Enough to buy something and sell something. And
D'accord.
merci beaucoup.
And you have said that you work as CEO Melo Foods 2015 July to present. And then KSD Ventures 2014-present CEO. And if I look at the scope of business, the KSD Ventures, you are talking about supply of building materials and production of ice for fresh fishmongers. If you come to the Melo Foods, packaging, distribution of ginger, cabbage and snails, distribution of approximately 50,000 crates of eggs weekly, distribution of 600 kgs of fresh goat meat and beef weekly, engaging over 7,000 smallholder farmers in 11 regions, and overseeing daily activity of 34,000 bed capacity poultry farm. So, you are a poultry farmer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How many people do you employ at Melo Foods?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Directly about 10, indirectly over 100.
What about KSD Ventures?
Just 3.
This is a business you own as a sole shareholder?
Sole proprietorship.
So it's a sole proprietorship?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Business. Okay. Where do you live?
I live in East Legon, Mr. Chairman.
Your rented property or your own property?
It's a
family property.
It's a leased property
Okay, so lease for how long?
for 20 years.
I see. But you've not provided the address here. You only have your postal address.
It was an oversight. Sorry.
So would you take the leave of chair to amend those records?
Leave granted, nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That all the amendments you would do, when we are done, you would get it done by your secretariat and furnish same to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me be very honest with you. My first encounter with you, I found you very humble and respectful. Your language use and how you carry yourself. What do you say to those out there who may have an otherwise perception about you? Because this our enterprise is driven by perception. Perhaps some utterances we've made in the public space, how we've gone about things and all, drive them into a certain direction. What have you to say to those out there who may not know, as I know, that you are humble and you are respectful? And I would want the records to reflect that this is what I know about you this day. What do you want the public to know about you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the kind words. Like they say, opinions are like noses. Everybody has them.
That's not an appropriate simile. Opinions are like noses. Please, just.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I mean.
Everyone has a different opinion of other people. And it's just human nature that before you meet somebody, you probably have a different perception about them. And I've had that quite a number of times where when people meet me, they'll ask me, or they'll tell me that they didn't know this was how I was and that they had a different perception about me. Some too feel that perhaps because of some movie roles I did, I might be a little bit rude and arrogant and so on and so forth, but I'm far from that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You've not said anything yet. You've not answered my question. You were only interested in making a case. This is Mr. John Dumelo. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. John Dumelo is a humble and kind man who believes in love. He believes in peace. He believes in humanity. And he has love for everybody. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you a Catholic?
A staunch Catholic.
Ah, okay. Do you have a firm belief in the rosary, the power of the rosary?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one here. Yes, please.
You brought your rosary?
Yes, please.
Are you familiar with St. Francis of Assisi's prayer?
No, that one I didn't get there.
Pardon?
But listening to you in some of the interviews in the vetting committees, yes, you've had a lot. You always say that prayer.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace.
Yes, please.
Okay. You may want to read that prayer. I mean, it inspires me a lot. That great saint.
Thank you.
All right. Do you belong to any of the Catholic lodges? You know, the Catholic Church has some fraternal societies. The lodge, the Catholic Church also has lodges. The Knights of St. John's, the Marshal. These are lodges in the church. Do you belong to any of them?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apart from being a mass servant when I was young, I don't currently belong to any society in the Catholic Church.
Are you a regular
churchgoer?
No, I'm not going to use churchgoer.
Sorry.
Are you an active member of the church? And if so, which parish do you belong?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just be honest. You've been honest thus far. I mean, just be honest.
When I was in Tema, I entered St. Joseph the Worker Catholic Church.
Before, currently, let's move because you are the last for the day, correct?
Yes, please.
And we want to finish you quickly. I mean, currently, where is your parish? You've not been to church for a long time. You know, let's close this matter so that we make progress. You know, let's close this matter and then we make progress.
Mr. Chairman, I currently attend Mary Mother of Good Counsel Church Airport.
Regular?
It depends on your definition of regular.
Okay, so I will define it for you. Do you pay your tithe in the church? They have your records of tithe pay?
My dues, yes, please.
You regularly?
Yes, please.
So who is the parish priest there?
Mr. Chairman.
No, John Nagbojidi.
Mr. Chairman.
John Bojidi. John.
Mr. Chairman.
John Bojidi.
They just changed him.
Okay. John, the one they just changed, the one who has just been transferred. Give me his name. You know, Archbishop is listening to us. He's watching, and I know many Catholic priests are watching you and I,
yes,
including all the troublesome Catholics.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as Member of Parliament of Ayawaso West Wogon, I do attend several Catholic churches in Ayawaso.
John, you know, you are an honest person.
Yes, so far.
You have your rosary with you.
Yes, please.
We have all sinned.
Yes.
And falling short of the glory of God.
That's true.
Don't do this and that. The man you are going to work with, Eric Opoku,
yes,
he doesn't like this.
Yes, please.
If it is this, it is that.
Yes.
And then just own up, let's move away from there.
Yes, please.
The Mary Magda of Good Counsel.
Yes, please.
That you say you attend.
Yes.
Is that your parish or not? Be honest with me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do pay my dues.
No, we dues, Catholic dues.
Yes.
Dues at the place.
Church. Yes.
What about tithes?
Oh, I pay my tithe.
At the same place?
Yes, please. But I spread it across the other Catholic churches.
No. Menyo, Amega, Dumega, Medekuku now, please. The point is that the father who has just been transferred.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Are you now his counsel at large? Do you remember the name? The one you say has been transferred?
Mr. Chairman, no, please.
The new one who has come, do you know his name?
No, please. I've forgotten.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with the marshals? The Marshallans? Are you familiar with them? Can you say a bit about the Marshallans as a fraternal society in the Catholic Church?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am familiar with them, but I'm not familiar with their dealings. Okay. What I do know is that my father was a member of the Knights of St. John's.
Okay.
But apart from that, I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so the Knights of St. John's, you must be a member. Though you are Catholic, before you become a member, you have to be initiated. Yes, not any member of the Catholic Church can enter their assembly, their meetings.
That's true.
And then when you are entering, there's a knock.
Yes.
To identify you as a member.
Yes.
Who has gone through the initiation process. You know that?
Yes, please.
And then there is a handshake, a grip.
Yes.
To identify you as one.
Yes, please.
All right. And that is not unchristian, correct?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. So it's a fraternal society within the church.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Let me ask you about your referees. You've written 2 names. How do you know the first one?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one has been my friend for over 10 years, and he knows almost everything about me. The second one to the same.
When you say the first one has been a friend, specifically what do you mean?
Mr. Chairman, a very good friend.
So you think that a friend with whom you share the same esprit de corps is okay to be your referee? I mean, in your own view.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I hear you. What about Samuel Dafoe?
Same, Mr. Chairman.
Who is he to you?
He's also a very good friend who I've known for over 10 years.
Okay. What does he do?
He's into oil and gas, Mr. Chairman.
Did you at any point attend KNUST?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What course did you read?
I studied civil engineering, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so why did you divert from civil engineering to public administration? Because in your educational background, you didn't list it at all. But in your leadership, you said KNUST, civil engineering student, assistant, you said organizing secretary, civil engineering student, 205 to 206. Then you also said Queen's Hall Planning Committee, 204 to 205. So I just wanted to understand why you were saying KNUST leadership, yet it doesn't have any space in your educational background.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've had a passion for acting and farming for a very long time. And so in my fourth year of KNUST or civil engineering, I had one more paper to write, which I didn't go back to write that paper, and I followed my passion of farming and acting. Hence, that's why I didn't write it in my CV.
Okay, hold on. So, where did you leave school in your final year?
I left after my final year.
Oh, so you did the 4-year civil engineering?
Yes, please.
But you had a paper to write?
Yes, please.
Which you did not write?
Yes, please.
Oh, I see. Then you left to follow your passion?
Yes, please.
For acting?
Yes, please.
Okay, then yours is better than mine.
Please, I don't know about yours, sir.
Also, I'm ready to share.
Yes, please.
Because I did become level 300, I abandoned UCC, and I went to do law. Because I didn't like accounting.
Okay.
And I was struggling, so I left and I went to follow my passion of doing law.
Thank you.
So I don't have it in my CV too.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so that's what you did.
Yes, please.
But it's not too late to go and do that one paper to have your degree in civil engineering.
Oh, right now I have 3 other degrees, so I'm okay.
I see.
Yes, please.
It may help. You may try.
Thank you, Mr.
It's just a paper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you have also indicated that your second business, you supply building materials and produce ice for fresh fishmongers. So the ice, have you done a factory to produce the ice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, please.
Where is that located, please?
Mr. Chairman, is in East Legon.
Okay. Is it at where you live?
Next door.
Next door?
Yes, please.
I see. And you've been paying your taxes for KSD Ventures?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
So with the leave of the chair, you'll be able to furnish us with taxes paid from 2014 to date, correct?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
You can also furnish us with your taxes paid for Mellow Foods from 2015 to date, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you have stated your name as John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo. Is that what you have on your certificate?
Mr. Chairman, on my certificates, I have John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
No Matthew.
On my certificates, no.
On your date of birth, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
On your passport, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
On your Ghana card, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
What name did you register with the Electoral Commission?
John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
So, in the Gazette and the subsequent communication to Parliament, the name there is what?
John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
Now, the letter communicating your nomination to Parliament, have you had the opportunity to see it?
I have, but I didn't pay attention to the name.
Okay. Does it have Matthew?
I may not recall, Mr. Chairman.
It doesn't. Would you want to take the leave of chair to amend the records? Because you are now going into public office, and you don't want unnecessary controversy. This is Ghana. People can be petty. They can get at you on anything. You are now being ushered into this new life where anything goes. So, would you want to change it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable nominee, I grant you the leave to do so, to put your official name in the right order and revert it back to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable nominee, I've been an entrepreneur for the better part of my life. I've had some good experiences. I'm concerned about something, and I want to ask you. You've started a nice business, sole proprietor, young man, 1984. You are not yet 40, are you?
Mr. Chairman, I'm 41.
41, very well. You're at your prime age. Okay. And you are doing well. Going into public service, how do you expect this business to survive? Sole proprietorship.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've handed all the operations to a new person who is now going to run it henceforth. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, wouldn't you prefer to drop this offer from Mr. President so you maintain your seat as an MP and build capacity in the private sector? Because from sole proprietorship, you're likely to grow and make it a limited liability company. With the promises in your party's manifesto for agriculture, you can tap into it and expand your business and employ more. Don't you think that is a better option? Then later on in life, you come into public service, the executive arm of public service. What do you think?
I disagree with you, Mr. Chairman.
Basis of your disagreement?
Mr. Chairman, because it's always a privilege to be called upon by the President of the Republic of Ghana to serve in a capacity. And in this capacity is the Deputy Agriculture Minister Designate. And I want to do that and do that diligently. Thank you.
What do you bring on board? What do you bring on board? Because you are going to meet an astute politician, very knowledgeable, and in fact, if you check Hansard, this is a man to be feared. He argues with facts, and he's not a man to dilly-dally with. To complement him, you must definitely have something on board. What do you bring on board? The country would want to know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Already I fear him.
But I'm happy you don't fear me.
If you asked about you, I would have answered whether I fear you or not. So
no, I don't want you to ask about me. You go ahead and answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know he's very knowledgeable. I've been listening to him. I've been studying him. And this is a great opportunity to learn under him. Him being an astute politician and a great farmer and somebody who is very knowledgeable in agriculture. I think this is the best opportunity for me to also learn under him and follow that same path. Thank you, sir.
So now, you know your region, OT. How many of you have been nominated for this ministerial, deputy ministerial thing so far?
Mr. Chairman, so far, just one person, Honorable Kofi Adams.
Your home region, OT?
Yes, please.
Oh, so you are a Greater Accra MP. So your nomination fills the Greater Accra space. At the same time, it also fills the OT card. So you are from Greater Accra and OT, correct?
Well, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman, and also Central Region and Ashanti Region.
Okay. John, it looks like you have some presidential ambition.
Oh.
Yes, because because there's going to be vacancy. No, it's a privilege to serve your nation. Don't run away from it. No. Don't run away. You are an actor, a businessman, an MP. Come 2028, there will be vacancy. President Mahama is not contesting again. The field will be open. You are from OT, Greater Accra, Central, and Ashanti. Masa, you speak French. You speak Twi. Oh, you qualify. You are 41. You overqualified. In fact, you will be 44 in your prime age. Wouldn't you consider it?
Mr. Chairman, there are so many seniors ahead of me.
Okay, so not now.
Mr. Chairman, if it's the will of God,
yeah, all right.
Everyone who enters politics aspires to obviously get to the top. If it's the will of God for me to get to the top in 2058 or 2064, I will wait.
2058, you'll be... How old would you be in 2058?
Very old.
Because we are hearing Asedun Katia, Julius Debra, Eriko Poku. We are hearing Eriko Poku, Julius Debra, Asedun Katia, Asedun Fabakon, Asedun Katia Fabakon, Julius Debra Fabakon, Eriko Poku also Fabakon.
Leader.
So we just want to be sure.
Leader.
So we can now say John Dumelo also Fabakon.
Leader.
Mr. Chairman, I also heard your name.
Don't go there. I'm not on.
Okay, sir.
I'm not on.
Honorable nominee, just one second, leader.
All right. So, John,
I haven't said it. I was just you are leading the nominee into a very dangerous territory.
He has to leave long.
And the Fabakon, leader, with all due respect, you are completely out of order.
Oh, very well, that's all. John, you know, my posture has always been that when I get it wrong, and I know I've gotten it wrong, it shouldn't take anything away from me to say I'm sorry. It would help me to learn. I try to watch some of my videos when we are done with the chamber work in the night. If I don't do it in the night, I do it in the morning to check what I did the previous day. Was I too harsh? Was I too hard on myself? Did I do it right? Get some friends to straighten me up. When we mount the campaign platform, the rallies, we sometimes slip. Do you agree that we sometimes slip?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Let me open you up generally and see how you would recall some of the excesses, if any. Do you recall anything politically you've said that, with the benefit of hindsight, you say, oh, I shouldn't have said it this way, particularly so against your opponent, the former member of parliament?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I remember.
What have you to tell her?
Mr. Chairman, the words I used, I apologized accordingly the day after.
Okay. But they are not on social media?
Mr. Chairman, it's on social media.
No, I mean your apology as well.
It is, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Do you have any regrets coming into mainstream politics vis-a-vis the privacy of your business life?
Mr. Chairman, no, please, I don't have any regrets.
John, how would you want to inspire the youth of Ghana? Particularly so, you coming from the area, your constituency is largely of the academia stock, full of academics, students. What do you hope to inspire them with?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, for me, I want to inspire people to be able to follow their passion, follow what they want to do, and do it well. I'm a man of probably many talents. In the movie industry, I think I did quite well. In the business industry, I think I'm doing quite well. And politics, I'm yet to do well. And so when some people look at me, they might be inspired to follow their dreams and follow their passions and make Ghana a better place.
Have you read your party's policy on food and agriculture? Be honest about it.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
You've read it?
Yes, please.
What's the policy on food and agriculture?
Well, our policy on food and agriculture is simple. It's to just create food sufficiency for Ghana. It's to feed the industry and feed ourselves.
Through which methodology, modeling strategy? How do you hope to achieve that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the feed ourselves, we hope to produce more. We hope to reduce post-harvest losses. We hope to feed the industry, and we hope to feed ourselves and export the rest. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, in the process of ensuring food sufficiency, how does this fit into this, your slogan, 24-hour economy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Ghana is one country that has just about one farming season. Our policy and our plan is to be able to farm all year round. Now, if we want to farm all year round, that means we would have excess food items available to be able to feed the industry. Now, once we have excess and we are feeding the industry all year round, definitely these industries have to run 24 hours. And so that's how come we'll fit into the 24-hour economy. Thank you, Mr.
So what is the 24-hour economy? What is the 24-hour economy?
Mr. Chairman,
of the NDC?
Mr. Chairman,
Share with us.
the 24-hour economy is one job, 3 shifts, 3 people. We don't see why Ghana should stop working at 5 o'clock. Ghana should continue working. And so if the industries are being fed 24 hours, definitely we need to employ more people. Definitely we need to move the economy forward. And so that is the 24-hour economy.
Which sectors are you going to focus on?
Sorry,
Which sectors of the economy are you going to focus
24-hour
on?
economy?
Yes.
Almost all sectors, sir.
Okay. No. The nation is listening to you.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So almost all the sectors.
Yes, please.
Oh, I see. Right.
Those that deem it fit to be under the 24-hour economy.
Okay. So there's going to be a modeling program to allow people to fit into it. There's going to be a certain framework, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
When is that framework to be expected? Because you were sworn into office 7 January. Today is 25th of February.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
When should we expect this framework?
Mr. Chairman, the budget is yet to be read, and I'm sure when it's read, the clear guidelines will be outlined there.
So, should we expect a 24-hour economy secretariat at your ministry where companies will be encouraged to register in exchange for some incentives?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If rightly so, if that becomes very necessary, yes, we would have a 24-hour economy secretariat at the Ministry of Food and Agric. Yes, thank you.
Leader,
Okay, go ahead.
please.
You go ahead. I'm not asking him policy questions.
I said earlier and then before, and you are pretty much a smart guy yourself, and you are aware of this. The nominee is here as a deputy minister designate for the minister. He is not a policy maker. So let's stay away. My advice to you, as my brother, as you do advise me, is that let's stay away from policy issues. Thank you very much, Leader. Please, you can continue.
Honorable member for Awutu Senya West. The honorable member is on oath. He is on oath. And all convo must cease. So, explain your earlier answer. I didn't get it because there were some few distractions.
You call it my intervention and distraction.
No, not you. Hey, it's not possible.
Mr. Chairman, please, to which of the questions?
My last question.
About how it will fit into...
Whether in the modeling,
Yes.
the framework, there's going to be a desk or a secretariat at the Ministry of Agriculture for those companies, those entities in that sector to apply and to have some incentives as entities under your 24-hour economy.
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, if it deems fit, yes, we might set up a desk.
Wait. In consultation with your boss,
Yes, please.
you are going to do what? I want to understand because we are recording you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
It's not enough to be on the rally grounds talking 24-hour economy, 24-hour to get the youth to vote for you. We are recording, so tell us, 24-hour economy, what in consultation with your minister, tell us what you are going to do.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
in consultation with my boss, if it so pleases the ministry, we will set up a desk. If it becomes
So if
necessary.
it doesn't please the ministry,
If it becomes
we should
necessary.
forget about. If it doesn't become necessary, we should forget about the 24-hour economy upon which you mounted your campaign and won the 2024 elections. Correct?
Correct, if it becomes necessary, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
In respect of your 2024 tax obligation to the state. So make that prayer.
Mr. Chairman, I pledge to provide all the necessary documents with reference to the 2024 tax obligations.
Now, I also note that on your tax clearance, your declaration for 23 is only in respect of KSD Ventures. So the application you made was in reference to KSD Ventures. So do I take it that it's a composite application for all the entities you own?
I believe so, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Now, this sector, food and agriculture, how do you hope to inspire the youth to get into agriculture? Vis-a-vis incentives to be available. Those who are distracting the nominee, you are close to him, the convo, because I see him paying attention. We don't want him to say, repeat. Please silence on that wing so that the nominee can focus. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, ever since I got into the agric space, or ever since social media became rampant, every time I do a post about agric and making agric look exciting, I've had a lot of engagements. I have had a lot of people wanting to get into the agric space. But what I tell them is that not everybody can be a farmer. And so you have the whole value chain. You have those who farm, you have those who provide transport, you have those who provide agric inputs, you have those who add value to it. And I feel and I believe that ever since I made it very public that I'm into farming, a lot more young people have gotten into agriculture, which is a good thing. Because if you look at the average age of farmers in Ghana, we are talking of over 50, 55 years, which is bad. And so we need more people to get into agriculture. We need more people to drive the agricultural bus. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you agree with me that capital is a critical challenge when it comes to agriculture? The young men and women that you want to inspire to get into agriculture, get into farming, especially the graduates, people who are done with uni and moving to office with CVs, that you would want to encourage to get into agriculture. One of their worries will be capital, money, funding. How do you hope to address this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in all my engagements across the country when I'm speaking to the youth, I tell them to always start small, and they shouldn't look at the bigger picture. They should look at the bigger picture, but they should always start small. And so if your dream is to have 1,000 cattle, you can start with 1 or 2. If your dream is to have 2,000 goats, just start with 1 or 2. If your dream is to make or add value to whatever it is you're producing, just start with something small and grow with the business. And so, yes, I do tell them that you should start small, because most of the time, when you start big and you don't have the experience, you're likely to crash. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So from the NDC's manifesto, particularly your policy on food and agriculture, should the Ghanaian youth be assured that you are going to provide capital as an incentive to support them into agriculture?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not just capital, but we are focusing more on giving you items to start with, like the Nkoko Nkiti Nkiti project. And so with the Nkoko and Kitinkiti project, we are giving you day-old chicks, we are giving you some farm input, we are giving you cages for you to grow with the business. For other engagements like starting your own home farming, we are just going to give you some small capacity building to be able to start. And so it's not just about capital, it's about also capacity building. Thank you.
So when do we expect this? When should we really expect this?
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we will let the House know, or the whole of Ghana know, when it can commence.
You know, Mr. President, mandate is up to 2028.
Correct.
The 4 years started counting from the 7th of January. So there is no time. Those hardliners who will be advising that chase your political opponent, you have to tell them that it's about jobs for the people, not persecution of opponent. Because persecution of opponent seems to have started, but the jobs for the people, not yet. So when the country would want to know, they've heard you on talking about what your opponents have done wrong, they've heard you, but what about your own mandate? When are you going to start? At least give an indication. Your boss is here. Leave can be granted for you to consult him.
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we'll let the House know when we can start.
Very well. We'll take you for your word. Now, this women banking, have you heard about it?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
What is it about? What is it about?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I've seen one of my mates right behind you. He's giving a signal that we should end soon. But I'm telling him that you're doing well thus far. So it's a basis for the continuation. But we'll be done soon. Don't worry. I know the chiefs have sat for some time.
Thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman.
we'll be done soon.
Thank you.
These are relevant matters for the industry, especially as you are a young man.
Yes, please.
Your campus people would want to know the promises you bring on board in the area you've been nominated for.
Yes, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the area of agriculture, or in the area of business, what we realize is that women are always a formidable force. They are almost always the ones who can do business and do it well. But unfortunately, access to credit or funding is always a problem for them. And that's why the NDC agreed or has agreed to establish the women banking to be able to lend money to women at a relatively lower rate so that they can expand their businesses, they can create more businesses and create more jobs for the economy. Thank you.
So a bank is going to be established, correct?
Rightly so, Mr. Chairman.
With the state as the sole shareholder?
I'm not aware of the modalities, but what I do know is that a facility or a bank will be established to lend money to women.
With branches across the nation?
Rightly so, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So we have the NEIP, we have MASLOC, we have the Ghana Enterprise Agency. Particularly Ghana Enterprise Agency is providing support to our women. In fact, they created a digitalized platform so effective that you don't even need to know somebody to access that facility. You think that all these are not enough?
No, Mr. Chairman, with the kind of economy that we have, all these are not enough. We still need more.
So the resetting of Ghana, what does it entail at all? The resetting of Ghana. This whole reset, what is it all about? Share with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, in the last 8 years, our economy hasn't been that good. And hasn't been that good. Hence, the need to reset Ghana. Hence the need to reset Ghana in all aspects of the economy.
When you say our economy hasn't been that good, I want to appreciate the context. Are you relating it to the COVID that struck the world, the external shocks vis-a-vis the Russian-Ukraine war and other external factors, or what? What exactly do you mean by the last 8 years the economy hasn't been that good? I want you to place it in proper context. I want to understand you. Are you referring to the COVID that struck the world, where for a whole year, the whole world was in a form of a lockdown, where there was no production, where government had to pay public sector workers even when no revenue has been generated, where GRA could not go out to take taxes, yet every public sector employee was supposed to be paid. Please explain to me what exactly you mean by the last 8 years the economy hasn't been that good.
Mr. Chairman, if you listen to some of the comments made by the past administration, they confirmed and confessed that the economy was bad. And so I'm just reiterating what they said to say that the economy wasn't that good, hence the need for the NDC to reset Ghana in the right direction.
So in the general sense of external shocks is what you mean?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Then in what sense? I mean, I just need you to...
The external shocks affected everybody.
Right.
But Ghana wasn't able to drive out of it the way we expected them to.
No, explain. I just want to understand.
What I mean is that you mentioned COVID. You mentioned Russia, Ukraine. But Russia, Ukraine, and COVID affected almost every country in the world. Some were able to navigate out of it. Some couldn't.
Some of the countries that did a successful navigation...
Relatively. No, Ghana did poor.
No, it's okay. I'm happy with the conversation. I mean, this is a public discussion and for the records. Share with us those countries that, in your view, and you can limit yourself to the sub-region, those countries in the sub-region that, in your view, they navigated better out of the COVID and met expectation. And unfortunately, Ghana could not. Please...
Mr. Chairman, I'm only repeating what some of your party members said during their campaign time. That
this is the honorable nominee.
Yes, sir.
Let's not go into campaign. Now you are a public officer.
Yes. Please.
Okay, where you rely on data and facts. If you don't want to base your argument on some facts, statistics, and data, then let's retreat and then make progress. But if we are going to say things that people say on campaign platform, even my own party members, as you say, then we cannot make progress as a nation.
Mr. Chairman, let's retreat and make progress, please.
Chairman, that will be all for him.
Thank you very much, Leader. I will try and end proceedings very soon. But I want to take you back, and I hope members will permit me. I want to take you back to the economy. Since Leader raised the economy issue. I want to know how you are going to help your minister in trying to resolve the food inflation situation that we have in this country and we've had for the last 8 years. If you look at the inflation numbers, and this is a fact, if you look at the component of inflation that is described as food inflation, it's been the chunk of the inflation numbers that we've had for the last 8 years. When we got to the dizzy height of inflation, and that is in 2022, when inflation was hovering around 54%, the biggest component of that inflation was food inflation. Today, as inflation is coming down, and it's not down enough, again, the biggest chunk of that inflation is food inflation. What that clearly tells you, and economists or whoever, statisticians or whoever you engage will tell you, is that we are not providing sufficient food for ourselves. Here, I'm segregating the inflation, the food inflation, to domestic food and food that comes from outside. And they are both affected by inflation. But a chunk of that inflation, that is food inflation, is also a domestic food inflation, which clearly tells you that as a country, we have food insecurity. We are not, that is for the last 8 years. The government has just come in. So they will have nothing to do with food insecurity at this stage. So for the last 8 years, and this is, you may abreast yourself as the budget is coming very soon. With the budget for the last 8 years, which we have here in Parliament, and you will notice that food inflation has persistently been high for the last 8 years. I will add this so I don't make it two separate questions. Now, you move away from inflation, which is to do with the economy, into growth, which is also to do with the economy. You will also realize that the growth of Ghana's economy, if you break it down, the food inflation has been declining for the last 8 years. Even now, that growth is going up. When you look at the curve, the food component of the growth. Chairman, you have had 2 hours to make progress. I'm using 10 minutes to make my progress. So, I just want to find out from you, since we have this serious challenge with inflation in terms of food inflation and with growth in terms of food insecurity, can you assure us that you will support your minister, who I know is very passionate with food inflation, to help us reduce the inflation component that is to do with food? And I mean domestic food, food grown in Ghana, not imported food. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would support my minister to do that. Thank you.
Sorry, I was trying to engage my leader here in a minor negotiation. And nominee, you have given me the assurance. You have, please, my leader interrupted me. So can you give your answer again, if you don't mind?
Yes, please. I've given the assurance together with my boss, the substantive minister.
I don't know whether to call this an ambush or not, but no. I will reluctantly yield. Is Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku here? And Honorable Henry Osei-Akutu is also here. Honorable Frimpong is also here. I just want to make sure.
Honorable Frimpong is not there.
Please, we've been here for quite a while. I just want to make sure we wrap this up. I have granted, what the leader has said. I just wanted to make sure the members that we are talking about are actually here in the room. Okay, I will start with Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, how many questions am I entitled to? 3.
Yes, 3.
Thank you.
Why you like that?
Yes, Mr. Nominee, congratulations.
Thank you.
My first question, I hope you are familiar with cocoa. My first question, there are disturbing reports that some farmers are giving their cocoa farms out to illegal miners, what we call the galamsey. Apart from the promise that the minister made, the cocoa farmers will be paid 70% of the world market price. Apart from that, what other measures will you put in place to ensure that farmers do not offer their cocoa farms to galamseyers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that the answer that my boss gave was one of the best answers to solve, or one of the best solutions to solve this problem. Giving the cocoa farmers the right price will deter them from selling their cocoa farms. The second one is also to restructure or structure the whole mining industry well, so that wherever they mine, they will not be able to affect these cocoa farms. But I think that the main one is about pricing, and that's what my boss suggested, and that's what the NDC will do. Thank you.
Follow-up question. So when should farmers expect the 70% payment?
Mr. Chairman, normally the new, with the commencement of the new farming season, which is in October, that's when they review the prices. But I'm in no position to commit myself when it comes to the commencement of the new prices.
The previous government reviewed the producer price in between. After the opening of the cocoa season, the price was reviewed in between. So are you telling cocoa farmers that the new price will not be announced until the new season?
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we'll be able to give the right answer at the appropriate time.
All right, Chairman, still on cocoa. There are a lot of discussions.
Is that your second question?
Yeah, my second question, Chairman.
All right, thank you.
There are a lot of discussions about the involvement of the private sector in the external marketing of cocoa. What is your position on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have to be very innovative when it comes to the cocoa sector. And if that would improve our market share, if that will improve our export, if that will improve our whole cocoa industry, then that would be a very good suggestion. But like I always say, I would have to consult my boss, and we'll see the right solution for this problem. Thank you.
Chairman, my last question. I've gone through your manifesto, and it appears the manifesto is elaborate on crops, production of crops, and also to some extent on poultry production. But when it comes to ruminants, it's very scanty. Does it mean that you are going to neglect the production of ruminants? Because protein intake in Ghana is very low, and the poultry industry has also suffered. So if the concentration is only on poultry, how sure are you that the intake of protein in Ghana, can increase, Because if you look at what the FAO recommends, we are far, far, far below. But your manifesto doesn't address the production of meat adequately. What assurance can you give to Ghanaians when it comes to animal production.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things we are going to do is to well equip our breeding centers, our livestock breeding centers. In the past, they haven't really been equipped, and what we are going to do is to really equip them. And an example is bringing in new breeding the livestock and letting it out into the particular district. And so we'll try as much as possible to decentralize the breeding centers so that more people can have access to the new breeds that are available for us to have multiple production going on.
I think I'm going to move on to Honorable Osei Akoto. He's done, leader. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and also giving me the opportunity. Respectively, my name is Seth Osei Akoto, not Henry. Seth Osei Akoto, respectively. That's my name. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Honorable nominee, congratulations.
Thank you.
You have just indicated to us that along the line, your passion has driven you into certain areas, including agriculture. Now, I consider you as a practitioner in the agriculture sector. So far, can you tell us or share with us the 3 most difficult challenges you have faced as a practitioner in agriculture? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first challenge is access to credit. Access to credit for me to be able to expand. The second challenge is our land tenure system. Sometimes you go to certain places, you negotiate for the land, they give you the go-ahead. After a year or two, when they realize that everything is going on well, they'll tell you that they want their land back. And this problem is not just peculiar to me, but peculiar to other farmers. The third one is also lack of machinery. The raining season is just about to start. What happens is that sometimes before you book a tractor, it can take you months before the tractor is able to come to your field to plow. And before that, the rainy season is over. And so sometimes these are the challenges that I face and other farmers face. And so in my whole life of being a farmer, these are some of the challenges I face. But the most important one is access to credit. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, follow up. The credit. When the minority leader was asking you some questions, he did mention about women's banking. Do you think with that you can be able to address some of the challenges in agriculture? Thank you.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Second question.
Yes,
Mr.
please.
Chair. Recently, there is a publication at the World Bank's website that is indicating that there will be food insecurity in West and Central African countries, including Ghana. Leader has also made mention about food inflation. How do you marry the two to avert such calamity in Ghana? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Recently, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture launched the irrigation for wealth creation, and that is to irrigate over 10,000 hectares of land. Now, what that means is that once we're able to irrigate over 10,000 hectares of land, there's going to be more food. There's going to be food all year round. And so, yes, even though the World Bank has said that there might be some food shortages in the next coming years, we hope and pray that in the next coming years also we'll increase the acreage from 10,000 to possibly to 25 or 30,000 to be able to farm all year round and to affect such a problem, to avert such a problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, follow up. You made a mention about irrigation.
Hold on. You said a follow-up?
Yes.
I thought the last one was your follow-up.
A follow-up.
Earlier, okay, so this is your follow-up for the second
Yes,
question.
for the second question, please.
Okay, please go ahead.
You made mention about irrigation. As a practitioner, have you done some calculations to know how much to put land under irrigation, even for 1 hectare or 2 hectares? So how do you bring 10,000 hectares under irrigation in the short term? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, when it comes to irrigation, there are so many factors that come into play. The type of the land, the type of the water, and the type of the soil. But most especially the type of land. And so, yes, there's been some form of calculation that has gone on. But the main aim or our primary concern right now is to be able to get water onto the land for us to be able to feed our plants. And that is the main aim. It might cost us, but at the long run, if you just pose that to hunger, I think it's definitely worth it.
Thank you, Honorable Nominee. My last question. As a country, there's influx of food imported into the country. How would we support the Honorable Minister to be able to bring incidence of food importation into our economy? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I may give an example, like tomatoes, we do import a lot of tomatoes from our neighboring countries. And so what we realize is that normally during the dry season, that is when we import more tomatoes than usual. And so with the implementation of this irrigation scheme, we'll be able to farm all year round and reduce the importation. That's one. The second one is when you look at the Nkukon Kitinkiti project, we are trying as much as possible to make Ghanaians eat what we grow in Ghana and make it affordable. And hopefully that will decrease the food import bill. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, I'm done. Thank you very much. And then I wish Honorable Nominee the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now move to Honorable Frimpong. Yeah, Honorable, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John, congratulations on your nomination. And I will ask you just a few questions. John, you are going to a ministry where a lot of work has been documented. What do you know about the PFJ1 document and PFJ2 documents?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do know about the PFJ1 and the PFJ2. What I can say is that I haven't read much into it, but what I can also say is that there will be some form of review to continue those that we have to continue and discontinue, or even modify some of the things that we have to do, because this is the agricultural space. Irrespective of how we coin it or name it, people have to eat, and we at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will make that there's food on the table. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I asked this question because basically the name of the ministry is Food and Agriculture. It is very instructive to note that the food component is the key. So if you have these documents, that painstaking research has gone into the development of these projects. You're going there. When you get the note from Parliament to go there to support your minister, I hope you are going to read. You say you've just glanced through them. What have you noticed in them that you think could be positive to support your minister?
Honorable, please hold on a second. The nominee is a deputy minister designate to the substantive minister. He is not here to answer policy questions. So please don't ask him one. And, Mr. Nominee, you are also not to answer policy questions, because that's not what you are here for.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this benevolent dictatorship, but I don't think I would take it, Mr. Chairman. No, Mr. Chairman.
I am far from a dictator.
No.
But I'm just guiding you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Mr. Chairman, but if you say I should not ask any policy,
I said any question that is a policy question
yes,
is not what we are here for.
Oh, Mr. Chairman.
And therefore, I'm guiding you. Please go ahead with your question. You are a special request that I have granted. Please go ahead. It's a special request I've granted.
Mr. Chairman, respectfully, yes, I take a cue. Thank you so much. Yes,
I want you to
thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from John. I know, John, you are going to sit in an office I just left, and there's so much in that ministry. You are aware of, you just mentioned in one of the answers about food security and all that. Do you have an idea about the crops that Ghana is self-sufficient and those that Ghana is not self-sufficient?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With self-sufficiency, I would mention maize, I would mention yam, I would mention plantain. These are just a few items that we are self-sufficient in. The self-insufficient, I would mention rice.
Can we have one Burton and one meeting, please? Please. It's becoming quite noisy. We've been here for a while. We have got our guests here who have been sitting here also for a very long time. We want to wrap this up as quickly as possible. So please, honorable members, let's allow honorable member to ask his questions and allow the nominee to answer. Do not engage the nominee. He is under oath. Please. Honorable member, continue.
For the items that we don't produce that much, I would mention maize and I would mention rice. Thank you.
I just want to correct something he just said, because he mentioned maize as one of those that you are self-sufficient.
Go ahead.
But you just also mentioned that you mentioned maize as one of the crops that you are not self-sufficient in. That's contradictory. So you better correct yourself. Okay. So. John, you know this phenomenon of climate change affecting agriculture seriously.
Your second question, I presume.
Yeah, this is the second question.
Thank you.
And then just supposing down food crop production. What are some of the recommendations you give to your minister when giving the nod for us to circumvent the drudgery of climate change in food production? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When it comes to climate change, yes, it has an effect on agriculture. Quite recently, in recent times, you have excessive flooding, you have excessive drought, and so on and so forth. And this obviously has affected our food production. And so with the excessive drought, some of the solutions will be the irrigation scheme that we talked about. With the excessive flood, what we can do is to plant more trees to be able to be a shield when it comes to irrigation. And so these are some of the few things that we can do, and I'll suggest to my minister about how to tackle climate change. The last one will also be to grow food that are resistant, or have seeds that are resistant to some of these droughts or some of these climate situations here. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my last question. John, this is a general question. I know you're a civil engineer, right? You're a civil engineer.
No, please.
Come again?
No. No. Yeah.
All right. I was going to ask you if you know about the irrigation schemes that we have in this country. Do you have an idea how many irrigation schemes you have in this country?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we do have approximately 223 irrigation schemes in this country, out of which 189 are functional in this country. The largest one is the Pond Irrigation Scheme, which covers over 3,000 hectares. The second largest is the Tono one, which covers about 2,400 hectares of land.
Chairman, I'm done. John, congrats once again.
Thank you
and
so
I
much.
wish you well in the ministry.
Thank you so much, sir.
You, honorable member, this, before you go on, leader, this is a special dispensation that we have, honestly, concluded the meeting with the last names given to me by the honorable minority leader. I am inviting you to come in because Honorable Patricia says that she's yielded her question twice, actually. One in the leader's.
When was that?
Leader. So please go ahead.
Chairman, thank you, but it must not be on our record that it is a favor being done me. Per our standing orders, I am properly in place as a leader of this house to participate and ask questions. It's by right. And then...
not when the meeting is actually closed. I've given you a special dispensation. Please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. or Honorable Dumelo, I congratulate you. Chairman, he is my classmate. We study masters together at Jimpa, governance and leadership. So when it comes to his ability, I don't doubt it because we have studied together. Except that in 2019 and prior to the 2024 election, have you ever described your opponent as a bloodily widow?
Honorable member, this question was asked by the minority leader and it's been answered. You were not here. Well, you haven't got to the angle yet because so far you have repeated and you are expecting an answer from him. That I will not take as an angle unless you add an angle to what you have said so far.
Okay, Chairman, even though that question was asked, and like I said, you know, I wanted to lay the foundation that having known him and then being with him, I don't know he will be somebody who will say something against women. I wanted to establish the fact that because when that alleged statement was made, there was an outcry from women in society. And I wanted to lay that foundation, the person that I know, to be able to say whether he's a woman, he's a person who is actually anti-women and anti the progress of women. That's the background I wanted to lay. Are you anti-progress of women in politics?
Please, honorable member,
Please,
you have
no.
asked a question. Can you allow the nominee to answer and address the chairman, please?
Mr. Chairman, please no.
Please go ahead and answer, honorable nominee.
Mr. Chairman, please no.
So now I'll bring you back to when we were studying together. Chairman, it's okay because the way Honorable Baba, congratulations, is saying, I don't want to go much. She wants me to say bye-bye and congratulations, but I wouldn't say that, except to say that, or to add, that if you go to the ministry, try to assist your minister. The ministry is a very, it's big, it's huge, and you should not try to jump the gun. And also note that when you go to the ministry, you are not in your movie industry as you are. Try to be as serious as you can so that you can be able to assist your minister to succeed. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I congratulate the nominee.
Thank you very much, honorable members, that we have exhausted all the questions that we have this evening. I will proceed to acknowledge. I will proceed to acknowledge the guest lists that I'm holding. And these are people who came, or friends and family who are here to support the nominee. Godfrey Ashizani, spokesperson for La Baoshi, or Baoleshi, forgive me. I know. Baoleshi, Traditional Council. And then Mrs. Gifty Dumelo, the wife of the nominee. Mrs. Caroline Edu Asumeni, Benjamin Avonyeche, Ruth Ofebia Buzia, Head of Strategic Communication, Ministry of Finance. Raphael Lutroy,